Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Rich Webster. If you don't know me, if you're watching this video, you have signed up for this incredible freebie. I think this is going to provide you a lot of value because I really made this whole presentation and this document for me. It's something that I spent a lot of years researching, and if I just had this, I could have saved myself a lot of time and a lot of money. So that's kind of the thought behind what we're doing here. Okay. I want to thank you again for signing up for the freebie. You're probably on my email list, so make sure to check out my weekly email, Work Less Wednesday. Let me know how you like that. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. So today's presentation is called My Essential Productivity Tools. These are all the things that I wish I knew as I was going through hundreds of productivity tools over the last 5-6 years. Doing my research and trying to find the perfect stack of tools for all the things that I needed. Okay, so this is the presentation. Let's jump into it. All right, so why I made this guide. Let me move me out of the way here. Now I'm in the middle. Okay, why I made this guide. So over the years, like I said, I've tried hundreds of productivity apps and software. I really experimented with a lot. I got super into it. It was kind of crazy at certain points. But to-do lists, distraction blockers, project management tools, I've seen it all, okay? So this is a compilation of the tools that are the best of the best, the things that have stuck for me. And I'll go into a little bit of detail about what makes a great tool, okay, on the next slide. So they've stood the test of time, and I'm going to break down how I use them and why you should use them too. Okay, so this is the guide that I wish I had when I started my productivity journey years ago. So my hope for this guide for you is that it's going to save you time and it's going to save you money searching for that perfect tool, because I've already done it. Okay, this is just a fraction of all the tools that I've used over here. Right off the bat, one of the things that I've learned after experimenting with all of these like terrible apps and good apps is I have a couple of criteria that I've learned, and I apply this to anything I kind of look at in the future, is what actually makes an app good. All right. Okay, so I have 3 key points about what makes an app good for productivity. Okay, so number 1, this is non-negotiable. It makes my life easier. This is why we do productivity, right? Is to make our life more efficient and have more time to do the things that we do want to do, and less times, doing busy work or wasting times, putting inputs into a computer. So it makes our life easier. Now, an example of an app that I'm going to talk about is Loom. Okay, Loom is a video recording app, but it's so much more than that. But the outcome of Loom is I have significantly less meetings. Okay, so that's how that makes my life easier. So that's the outcome, right? So that's non-negotiable criteria number 1. Okay, so number 2 is a good app will remove decisions from my day. So it'll actually take things that I normally have to use brain power, and there are plenty of studies that say that we have a limited amount of brain power in the day, right? So it removes those decisions from my day, so I don't have to use them thinking about apps. So one of the apps I'm going to talk about is called Freedom. It's a distraction blocking app. Okay, it's really good. And what I like about Freedom is it removes my decision that I make or don't make constantly throughout the day, whether to distract myself. Okay, so distracting myself with social media, checking the news, you can be checking my email, anything that you subconsciously switch over to and you actually have to physically bring yourself back to doing the work. Okay, so that's why I use Freedom. It removes the decision of whether to distract myself from my day. All right, and then the last one, and this is the key distinction from, I feel like, the people that are the productivity hackers and the obsessive productivity people that spend more time tinkering with their tools than actually doing the work. So like optimizing the perfect note-taking system and creating a neural link between all your different apps and stuff like that. That is not something that I'm interested in. So a good app, and I've learned this over time, is simple and does not create more work than it saves. This is so big, and I made this mistake myself. There are so many apps where you spend so much time tending to your app and making it work and, applying different states to a project. I am not about that anymore. I want an app that is simple and creates freedom, right? It doesn't create more work. So an example of that is Notion, which we'll talk about, and the way that I apply kind of a simple project management mindset to Notion. Okay, so that's what makes an app good. So all the apps that we talk about, they're going to meet these criteria. Okay, and you can use this to apply it to any other apps. All right, let's go to the next slide, shall we? All right, hey, I'm still in the middle. Okay, so want to be clear. I have problems with some of the most popular apps that you'll hear. So these are 4 apps that get thrown around a lot as some of the best. And I'm going to give you quick reasons about why they're not on my list. And you'll learn a little bit more about why I replaced them in the actual list of my top apps. Okay, so Slack is not on my list. People love Slack. People think kind of it is default now, right? Everyone uses Slack. It's part of running a remote workplace. Problem I have with Slack is it is crazy for distractions, right? You can get that little pop-up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen all day long, and it takes you out of focus, okay? So I do not use Slack with my team. Now, I have clients that use Slack, and I'm on their channels because I have to be, but I have rules with myself, and I'm clear about that expectation with them that, like, listen, I'm going to check Slack once a day maybe. And I'm going to handle all your requests and all the things that come in. Feel free to brain dump in there, but don't expect me to reply instantaneously. And, the way I explain that to them is that while, it may be inconvenient for you to sometimes need to wait for a response from me, you are going to get much more work done from me if I am able to focus on what I'm doing as opposed to switching back and forth. And the other thing I like to explain to clients in my agency role is, listen, imagine if I have, 10 of my active clients and I have a Slack channel open for each of them and they're all pinging me throughout the day. And instead of working on your specific project, let's say it's a video, instead of editing your video or storyboarding it or something, I'm actually just going and every 5 minutes I'm responding to a message from a different client. No one wants that, right? No one feels like their time is valued. So we do not use Slack in my team. We use asynchronous communication, which is basically communicating in writing with no expectation that responses are immediate. And then when emergencies come up, my team has access to my phone. And if there's a real, true emergency, they text me. And if I look at my phone, I'll handle it. And if not, it's probably not an actual emergency, okay? So number 2 is Asana. So this is for project management. I have a lot of clients that use this. I actually have it on my computer, but I do not use it for any of my work. I find that the biggest problem with Asana is it is not flexible enough for what I need, and it often can get super, super complicated. I have created my own version of Asana in Notion, which I think is much more effective and more simple and works well for my team, and I'll kind of explain to you what that looks like in the presentation, but I do not use Asana on a daily basis, but I am familiar. Okay, Todoist is another popular to-do list app, and my kind of productivity methodology is actually that I would not benefit from a to-do list app, okay? So I know a lot of people use this one, but I found over the years that, like I said, simple is better, right? And the thing with Todoist and to-do list apps, which I've used and I've experimented with, is I end up with a to-do list that is a mile long and nothing gets done on it, right? There's actually probably 5 to 10 things that need to get done and get done that cycle between, being at the top of the list, and then everything else doesn't get done. And then you look at this and you're like, wow, I'm such a failure. I've got 100 tasks here that I haven't completed. So I do things differently. I have a more prioritized list, and then I have something from the Getting Things Done methodology, the book GTD, Getting Things Done by David Allen, where I do a maybe someday list, which is a hidden separate list where I can dump ideas of things I might want to do, but I'm not committing to do immediately. So that's why I don't like a to-do list app. They become crazy very fast, and most things never get done. Finally, Evernote. I just find that Notion is better than Evernote. Everything that I can do in Evernote, I can do better in Notion, and I found that Evernote is like super disorganized. So I don't love it. I used to use it. I use it for a couple of years. I get why people use it, but it's not for me anymore. Okay? That's what's not on my list. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay. So this is the core 4, and maybe I can move myself over to the side here. These are the 4 apps. So we're going to go through the core 4, and I'm going to break these down very specifically that I use. These are the foundation of my business. They make my life easier. I could not run my business without them. They are all 10 out of 10s for me. And then I have some bonus ones at the end that I will also share with you. So stick around for those. My core 4 apps are Notion, Toggle, Freedom, and Loom. All right, so let's start with Notion. You've probably heard of Notion. This is a screenshot from some of their marketing materials. What Notion is basically a extremely flexible note resource database tool that, I mean, that's my layman definition. But basically Notion can do everything, and that's why I love it. So I'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll actually go through a demo, and I'll show you how I set mine up, okay? All right, so what I love about Notion. Notion is the one app that replaced 10 other apps that I used to use, okay? So Notion replaces everything. I use it for project management, reference storing, team management, client management, for my note taking, for my content planning. It replaces Asana, Evernote, Slack, and much more, right? All those apps that I talked about that I don't use and they're not on my list, that's why I use Notion, okay? So this is the biggest one. All right. I planned out this entire presentation in Notion. That's how much I love it. And we'll dig in and we'll take a look at what my Notion looks like and how I build my templates. Another reason, so I'm a designer, you remember, by trade. I run a design agency in addition to what I do online. And Notion looks amazing. The design and the layout is super, super clean. It just looks good. And one thing that people don't talk about, but I think is one of the major benefits of Notion, and actually goes back to psychology, is Notion leans extremely heavily on colors and emoji as part of their user interface. And studies have shown that these emojis are actually extremely, extremely helpful for remembering where things are and being able to navigate quickly and intuitively. So if you see a list, for instance, of 10 pages in a row, right? So they're 10 pages, they all have different names, and it's just 10. You're going to have a very hard time discerning what you need and where you need to get from that list. But if you assign a different related emoji to each of these items, you can navigate through that list significantly faster. So that is a big part of the Notion workflow, is the emojis, and it's something people don't talk about as much. Okay? Point 3, fully customizable. This is the one thing that people run into with Notion where they get scared. And I understand. It took me some time myself. And the best thing I can say is YouTube is your friend. Templates are your friend. First, use templates, and then you can build what you want. So my suggestion is start to think about the things that you might want to use Notion for, like a notepad, or storing information, or project management, or social media management. And start to just think about, like, what would a great system look like? What would it do? And the more you play around with Notion, you'll realize that you can do all of that in there, but you just need to learn how the tools work. So this is a strength and a major weakness. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not super complicated. It can get crazy complicated, but you can build anything you want. You just need to know what you want. So start with templates. I'm going to be probably dropping some templates in the future. More will be revealed on that. And pricing, Notion, the great thing about all these apps is everyone offers a free and a paid plan pretty much for almost all of these. There's maybe one that isn't. But yeah, Notion is cheap. It's free to start, and $4 a month for their basic plan. If you're bringing your team into it, it can get a little bit more expensive. I think it might be $8 a head. Could be 16. I don't remember. But for what you get, it's totally worth it. All right, so this is Notion. Let's jump into our little tour here. So this is Notion's website. You can check them out. What I like about Notion is just this clean user interface. It's absolutely beautiful. There is a mobile version. You can do your heart's content in here, right? You can run your entire business in here. Whatever you are trying to do, it's all doable in Notion. So that's one of the things that I love about this piece of software. It is absolutely incredible. They are now offering a lot of great templates on their site if you go to the template gallery here. So you can start there if you've never used Notion before. There's also some great courses. Watch YouTube videos. There's a lot of good stuff. But start here. Download Notion. You can get it on your computer. You can get it on your phone. I use both versions, mostly computer. And it's just absolutely unbelievable. It's great for teams. It's great for personal. whatever you are trying to do, you can modify, and it's really cool. Okay, great. So let's get into my Notion, shall we? Now, as a disclaimer, let me bring this in here. Maybe I can full screen this. Okay. We're going to go super wide. So this is looking very blank to begin with. One thing I'll say before we start is I am probably going to have to blur stuff out. I'm very sorry about that. There's a lot of confidential stuff in here. I'm just going to record and let it rip. And then I'm going to come back in when I'm editing it and probably have to edit some stuff out or blur it. So if that happens, I'm extremely sorry. If you have any questions, you can hit me up, shoot me an email, or DM me on Instagram. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, let's move me maybe over here as I'm moving around the page. Okay, so here is my Notion. This is my personal Notion account, and we're going to try to go through kind of all the key things that I use. Let's start with something that you're probably all familiar with because you probably found me on social media, and we're going to go to my social media calendar. Okay, so this is basically where I run my entire Instagram page and my business out of Notion. Okay, so it's pretty sweet. On this page, I can organize all of my tasks in a calendar view. Let's take a look at maybe an Instagram post from this week. So in here, I can assign tasks to all my team members. I have designers that work on this. I have people that help me post. And this is a specific Instagram carousel post that was already posted. It references my Dropbox where the files live that my team can manage. And we have all the different types of posts that I do, including my email list, which you are now subscribed to if you're watching this. And, I'll put my notes in here, about the copy so I can actually type out what it's going to say. And then we'll go in and we'll write the post copy, the hashtags, all of that stuff. And it's just a really great system for organizing content and scheduling it because it's super easy. Like I have some other content that's going to be coming out to come. And you can just quickly move things around, drag it, schedule it where you want. I've got posts scheduled and, I might say status scheduled and assign it to Max, who helps me post things. And this would go straight up on Instagram on the day that I say. So it's pretty sweet. You can run it yourself. I'm still writing the copy for this, so we're going to remove Max. And we go through that status process for all of these posts. Writing, filming, design, editing, writing the post copy, final review by me if my team was working on it, scheduling, and posted. And then ConvertKit is for my email. So it's pretty awesome. And we do this for the email list too. I'll actually put all of the different posts in here, schedule it, and my team drops it into ConvertKit. So that is how I kind of run my social media presence. Now you can also look at this. This is pretty cool. We've got different filters, right? So you can see a full list sorted by status of all the different posts that I've done. And you can see this is everything that's posted, all the different categories. We've been doing this for a long time. And what's great is you can go back in and say, hey, let me revisit this post from October. Maybe I want to redesign this or repost it or steal some post copy for a reel or something. It's just great to have this database here. And you can also do Kanban board style. Some of you may be familiar with that. So you can see exactly in the process where all of these different posts are. And you can see we've got a nice backlog. Okay. All right. So that is my content management in Notion. Let's go to the next one. So this is my inbox. Inbox is one of the key things that I use in my business to keep my brain decluttered and free of ideas. Now, you can do this in anything, but I do it in Notion. So the inbox is basically a blank page. It is where over the course of the week, anytime I have an idea, rather than trying to have that idea and then put it in the correct to-do list or database or whatever, I just put it in this inbox. And then I have a time once a week where I schedule to go through the inbox and put everything where it's supposed to go. So let's say I think, order eggs and avocado. I might have that idea for the grocery list. I just dump it here. I do this on my phone. I do it on the fly as ideas come up. Or I might say IG post idea, and how I check my email twice a day. And I might have some bullet points. So I just go through this. Normally, this is not a blank page. It's an absolute mess of ideas. But what's so great about this is this allows me to put it all on a page when I have the idea and get it out of my head. Because studies show that the more ideas we're trying to save in our brain at a time, the worse our brains actually perform. So getting that brain dump out as soon as you have an idea that you want to remember is crucial. It is a master skill. It's really good. So that's why I love using Notion for this. And then I schedule a time during my weekly review once a week to go through this. That's my inbox. Next, I've got a little notes here about this one. This is the most extensive tour, by the way. The other pieces of software, not going to be this fast, but Notion's amazing. Okay, so this is probably going to have to be edited pretty heavily. I apologize in advance. I may remove this. I don't know. We'll see. This is my design agency client project database. So this is basically what replaces Asana completely for my business. We have a bunch of different things here. We've got things sorted by client, status, due date, and team. So in this task, I've got my freebie here. This is what we're working on right now. It's due today. I'm finishing it up. It's in progress. I'm working on it. I can assign any team members to this. And then inside here, I've got a breakdown with kind of my guide and exactly what we're doing with the productivity tools. So it's pretty cool that we can do this. I'm going to go back out. Another one that I did recently is a course that should be coming out soon. And I worked with my team on this. And I actually embedded a nice little video in here, which is kind of cool. So you can actually see me kind of walking this through my team so they can watch this video, get editing instructions, stuff like that. And then we just run the entire project in here. This was all the lessons, all of the scripts, and the deadlines and stuff. This project is done, all of the different assets. And yeah, you'll see this soon. So this is a perfect example of how I would run a project here with my agency. And it's nice because this is actually something I can show you because it's not private client stuff. So apologies for the blurring out on this. If you have questions about this, I can get really granular about the different status states that I use, how I assign my team, how I give feedback, stuff like that, how we use the chat feature. But I think this is a pretty good start. All right, next on the list, we went through our client projects. I'll show you an example of a kind of more note organization hub. So this is for Work Less, Earn More, my business. And this is kind of a hub dashboard type thing where I organize all of my thoughts and stuff related to this business. So this is like the landing page. Within here, I have my kind of large strategy planning. I have a course that I'm working on, my manifesto, which you'll see more about very soon. Calendar, this is the IG calendar that you were looking at. I also have notepads where I save ideas for posts and for emails. This is freebies. This is also what I'm working on right now. A little teaser there. And then we also do private coaching. So I have my notes for my team members in there. Not my team members, for my clients, and resources, things I save along the way. And then these are for my brand sponsorships that we do. So that's kind of the dashboard. I can't get into too many of these things because they have private stuff, but you can organize this for your business however you like and make it super clean and easy to navigate. And I use this dashboard all the time. Okay. Next is reference. Let's see what we can look at in here. So I'm not going to jump into, I don't really remember what's in here. Some of these things I haven't looked at in a bit. But what's nice about it is this is a reference section where, let's say I do a brain dump and I'm like, I've got this book I want to buy, right? And I see it and someone's talking about it on Instagram or maybe in a podcast. And I say, buy Atomic Habits by James Clear. Put that in the list. This is where I would save it. So I've got this database here. There's basically nothing in here because I bought everything that I've wanted recently. But maybe this is a list of, I think when we moved to Philadelphia, I did a list of restaurants that I wanted to go to, or maybe shopping. Oh, these are stores. So these are places that I wanted to check out. So this is just a nice way to organize your thoughts. This can replace Evernote, and I've got a bunch of stuff in here. So forgive the disorganization, but this is where I would put things that I maybe want to revisit at some point in the reference section. Okay, moving along. I'm going to have to blur out some stuff here, but this is my freelancer hub where all the people that I work with on my team can get all the information that they need. So within here, I kind of have all of my expectations. I have client dashboards and databases. Sorry, this is going to be blurred out, but within here, there's logins for all of the sites that we have memberships to that they can get to. I give them access to online courses and stuff if they want to, learn some new skills or forget how to do something. I have this read this first section, which kind of communicates all of my expectations for team members and freelancers. So this is like a hub where I can quickly onboard a new team member, show them exactly what I'm working on in Notion, and yeah, they can just go through there. So it's pretty sweet. All right, final thing for Notion is my personal dashboard. So each day is broken out: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't work on these days, and each day has its tasks for the day. So I try to keep the list pretty short, that I'm actually going to do everything on here. We've done this, we're doing this now, and we're just going through here. I've got my weekly tasks in this database on the side, and then this is my business on the left. We are back. This is number 2 of the core 4. This is Toggl. Toggl is an app that I love. Toggl is a time tracking app, and one of the things I talk about a lot is how important it is for you to track your time. It's one of the most productive things you can do. Okay, you really do need to track your time. It's one of the most impactful things that I have done in my business. It really helps me to know exactly what I'm doing all day, and to make sure that when I review it, I'm doing the right things. Because I just don't want to work all day. I only want to do the right things and then be done working. What I love about Toggl is it's super easy to use, and it integrates straight into a workflow. It looks great, and it doesn't slow me down at all. I've tried other time tracking software, and you spend so much time doing data entry that you are actually taking time away from your work. So that goes back to my key point about that. So I use Toggl, and I track my time all day. It's super, super effective. And the final reason I love Toggl is its robust data analytics and reporting features. So the reason why I do my time tracking is so I can actually learn things about it and change my behavior. Toggl's features with that are incredible. You can break it down by client, project, each day, each week. You can see trends. You can, report by like billable time versus non-billable time. It's really awesome. Price-wise, it's free or $9 a month. You can get it at toggl.com, Toggl with no E, /track. So let's take a look real quick. This is Toggl's site, time tracking for better work, not overwork. They are pretty good. Time is money. Toggl Track saves you both. So yeah, they're really great. It's super easy to use, great reporting. And yeah, let's take a look at what I have going on with my Toggl. So this is my Toggl workspace. This is where the magic happens. This is actually live, running right now, showing you what's going on. Unfortunately, there are going to be some things that I have to blur out here because of client confidentiality, but I wanted to show you a little bit about the interface and why I love it so much. It's super easy to put these tasks in, and what's great is it kind of predicts what you're putting in as it learns what tasks you do frequently. So it starts to learn. You can also create favorites. So I have kind of favorites for some of my daily tasks that I do every single day. So I can just hit that and it starts the timer. It's really great. And showing you the reporting just a little bit, they might have to blur some stuff out here. But so this is my reporting for last week. So you can break it down by all these different filters up here at the top. By the day, you can see last week I only worked 25 hours all week. You won't be able to see these clients, but about 16 of those hours were on my kind of work less, earn more business, and then only 9 on my agency. So when you see me talking about only working 10 hours a week running my agency, this is the truth. This is the timer right here. So this pie chart, this is work less, earn more. This is design agency. So I live what I preach. And I love being able to go through and look at this data and actually see the breakouts of how many hours I worked. And you can get super granular with this. So it's really awesome. I'll also show you, this is in the web browser version. There's a desktop version too, which is a bit more of a streamlined version that I do like a lot. And it'll show you in list view or timeline view, which is pretty cool. I don't use the timeline view that much. What you're working on and the same kind of interface. So yeah, I really like Toggle. I think it's a great app if you are just trying to get started with tracking your time. This is a great app to experiment with. So yeah, that's Toggle. That is one of my top 4 in the core 4. So moving to the next one. This is a game changer. So this app is called Freedom. And what Freedom is a distraction blocking app. I use this every single day. It is that good. And what I love about Freedom is it is the best distraction blocker. You can make it super customized and block distracting sites and apps on your phone and on your computer. I was just telling someone today about how they should use Freedom. They were worried that, it wouldn't be customizable enough, but it's so good. You can even use Freedom to block the internet completely. Let's say you're writing and you're like, I don't need the internet. I just need no distractions. You can cut off the internet on your phone and your computer for a set period of time. The way that I use Freedom is I set up a daily block. So I have a pretty consistent deep work session every single morning where I don't have meetings, I don't have interruptions, and I just get done what I need to get done. And I use Freedom to supplement that. So it removes the decision of me checking social media or the news or email or distractions or whatever. So I run that from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. 5 days a week. And I just know once it's on, it is deep work time and there's no way to escape. So I really loved it. And the last thing is the customization of Freedom is really good. You can break it down by individual sites or applications. You can pick broad categories. You can even schedule sessions automatically or start them yourself. The one warning I will give you about Freedom is it is a distraction blocker and it is designed so you don't distract yourself. It is not easy to get out of Freedom once you've started a session. So you really need to commit to a session. Now there are workarounds with anything, but they really try to make it as hard as possible for you to break out. So Freedom, this is kind of their site and their pricing. It's $8.99 a month. You can do all this stuff. Looks like there's some freebie or some discount that they offer. But yeah, block the entire internet, all websites, apps on your phone. You can create exceptions, incredible features. The scheduling is great. There's a built-in browser extension. And then this is my account. So this is kind of what I have set up right now. You can see we're actually after. So I said it goes from 7 to 11, but I started at 5 because my work starts at 7, but I don't want to look at anything first thing in the morning when I get up. So I've got specific distraction block lists that I use. This is my primary one these days, but I had times where I was using block lists because sometimes I would need to get on YouTube to do client stuff or check the news for client stuff. Not the case anymore. And it's really great. It runs like clockwork. Once you set it up, you don't have to do anything. And I have this recurring schedule that just runs all the time. Blocks 357 different sites. You can create a custom block list. They'll give you categories. So you can say, generally, don't show me any social media. It tells you like what sites or no politics sites. It's really cool. Or specific, like don't let me buy anything on Amazon from, when I'm a night shopper or something and I don't want to have Amazon access from 5 to 10 p.m. You can do anything with it. It's really good. Or you can add specific sites. So if it's not in this list or you have a specific site that you don't want to go to, you can just put it in manually right there. So I love Freedom. It's really good. You should definitely pick up Freedom. I highly recommend it. It will save you so much time. And, it's not about like stopping using social media or stopping looking at the news, but it's about being intentional with how we spend our time, right? So I'm clear that in the times when I don't want to be on it, I don't want to be on it. And then when it's nighttime or I want to check in, it's guilt-free, right? So that's why I love Freedom. Let's go to the next one, shall we? Number 4 of the core 4 of my favorite apps. You've actually already experienced this app live. It's Loom. I recorded this video. This entire presentation was recorded in Loom. It is so efficient, so easy to use, so amazing. And what Loom is a video recording app. It allows you to record video messages of your screen, your camera, or both, audio as well. And what I love about it is exactly what it says. It's faster than an email or meeting live. It's the ultimate screen recorder. Like I said, you record your screen, you can do a little presentation, and then it just generates a shareable link within seconds. So you can just copy that link and send it off to whoever you want. I did this presentation in Loom. Now, I love Loom because I use it to replace meetings. At my design agency, one of the biggest things that I spend my time doing is providing feedback to other people on my team about design or, anything related to the business. Now, rather than having a 30-minute meeting where we get on Zoom and chit chat, I can literally pull up their design, screen share it, and go through and say exactly what needs to be changed, adjusted, or fixed, offer feedback, offer constructive criticism, and it takes me like 5 minutes instead of 30. So that is the biggest use case for Loom, is if you are communicating with a team or with clients or with other people, you can replace a meeting with a Loom. I do client presentations on it, so we don't have to be live. It saves their time. They love it. They can watch it at 1.5 speed if they want. They can have someone else watch it. They can say, I don't feel like dealing with this. Assistant, watch this video for me and tell me what happened. And it's faster than an email a lot of times too, because you just say it and it's done. So Loom is amazing. Everyone loves it. Everyone I show it to ends up using it. It's just that good. They have a free pricing program, I think, a free version, or it's $8 a month. So yeah, you can check them out. Their site, this is my Loom. You can see loom.com is the website, and there's a lot of information about how it works. It is so good. You will love Zoom. Loom. All right. This is my account. You can see in here, I'm always sending video messages to people. It's really good. I'm actually recording this live right now. So yeah, this is Loom, and it is really, really good. I mean, if you like this video, it was made in Loom, you should start using it. All right. So that is the core 4. Just to recap, we've got 4 apps that I really cannot live without with my business. We've got Notion, Toggle, Freedom, and Loom. So I recommend all of these wholeheartedly. They replaced a lot of apps that I've used in the past. And if you're getting only 4, get these. If you have questions, you can reach out to me, DM me on Instagram. And now we're going to get into some bonuses. These are some other apps that I really love. They're not the core 4, but they are ones that I use on a regular basis. So let's check this out. 4 apps here that I do really, really love and I use regularly. Number 1 is Productive. Productive is a phone app. A lot of people ask me about habit trackers and ways to keep track of streaks and morning routines and evening routines. And the app that I have found to be incredibly effective and great, and I've been a long-term user. When I first started using this app, it kind of sucked, and they are really committed to developing it and making it better. So Productive is a daily habit tracking app. I use it for my morning and evening habits, and you can even keep track of streaks. It's really good. I got my wife on it. She uses it every day. She loves it. So yeah, that's Productive for habits. Second is Brain.fm. I use this app all the time for deep work and for focusing. So I listen to this mostly first thing in the morning when I'm doing my deep work session. I will put on, so they are binaural beats. They are designed to put your brain waves into a certain state for focus or creativity or relaxation or winding down. There's a bunch of them. So I will usually use it for deep work in the morning. I'll boot it up and just let it play for like 2 hours and really get into the zone. It works really well. I've been using this app for years. And I also use it in the evening when I'm winding down. If I'm reading in bed, I'll put it on. You really need to use some good headphones. I use my Bose noise canceling headphones for Brain.fm. You can get away with worse headphones, but you need 2. The way that it works is it's playing out of the left and right side, and it's kind of calibrating your brain waves to enter a certain state. So you need 2 headphones in. That's important. So that's Brain.fm. Next is Calendly. This is a more recent addition, but as I've been kind of having to schedule more meetings and deal with people and do coaching, I find that it is really easy to use Calendly. to send a link to people and let them pick on my schedule when they can book. Now, you'll remember that I only take meetings on Tuesdays. So this allows me to set that boundary without setting it, because when I send them the link, what do you know? I only have availability on Tuesdays. So by default, they see that and they're like, okay, well, I guess we're meeting on Tuesdays. I also use this to run my coaching payments and appointments through it. So my coaching clients, private coaching, you can check it out on my website. They will go in there, pick what day they want to do their appointment. I do offer extra days to my coaching clients. I probably won't do that forever, but I have a few other days on there if Tuesdays don't work. And they pay for the session in there, give me their information up front, their goals for the session, stuff like that, and they get a Zoom link and confirmation immediately. So Calendly is great. You can check that out. That's a new one, and it's really saved me a lot of time. Finally, this is a big one. Backblaze. Okay, I talk all the time. I cannot say enough how important it is to back up your files. Backblaze is the best cloud backup imaginable. You install it once, you set it and forget it. You never have to touch it again. But in 2022, I say this, your data is your money. Do not back up your stuff, okay? Back up your stuff in multiple places. I highly recommend having it in 2 specific locations. You need a physical full backup of your hard drive, external, and you need a cloud system. Use both. There's a saying in the military, 2 is 1 and 1 is none, right? So 1 backup is not good enough. If your backup fails, you're screwed. So get Backblaze. It's really good. It's fast. It's quick, but you just can't live without it. It's really good. My old laptop failed out of nowhere. 2019 MacBook Pro is a $3,000 computer, just died on me. And if I didn't have the backups, I would have lost all of my work. So check out Backblaze for that reason. So those are your 4 bonus tools: Productive, Brain.fm, Calendly, and Backblaze. Finally, one more bonus for you as we're wrapping up here. I do love physical tools. Now, I could go into a whole nother video about physical tools, but I do want to talk about one that I do love and I use every single day. It is Field Notes. Go to fieldnotes.com, check them out. They are my favorite little notebook. I bring them around with me. When I need to take notes, have a brain dump when I'm going for a walk and just write down in there things that I'm thinking and then, put that into my Notion database later. Sketching, client meetings, if I want a notepad. They have all different sizes. I love the different cool designs and stuff. I mean, they're fun to collect. Field Notes are amazing. Their most recent version is actually a weekly planner and to-do list type booklet, so you can check that out. Fieldnotes.com. I love Field Notes. I've been a lifetime user. I've got whole drawers full of them. They're awesome. So something fun at the end for you. You can check that out. And that's basically it. This is my presentation. It went on longer than I thought it would, but I have a lot to talk about here. So that's basically it. 2 things before we close it out here. Number 1, I want to know, what tools are you using? Do you have any tools that I don't know about that you think are incredible, that are better than what's on this list, that work better? I am always open for revision. This is my list as of February 2022, but I'm an experimenter. So if you have something that you use that I don't know about that I'm going to love, let me know. So you can DM me on Instagram at RichWebs or on Twitter, or shoot me an email, rich@richardmediacompany.com, or since you're on my email list, just reply to Work Less Wednesday, and I get that and I respond to all of them. So that's basically it. Let me know what you think. If you have questions about the apps or feedback, I want to know. So yeah, DM me, shoot me an email. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. It was really fun making, and I hope it really provides you a lot of value. And that's it. Thanks.